Hello, welcome to the Showboys Newscast, bringing you all news and no opinion. I'm Mike.
And I'm Nick.
Thanks for joining us. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get right to it. And I don't want to get off, on the wrong foot here on the newscast. I know we're in the midst of a rather large nerd pop culture event. Some might know it as E3. Unfortunately, but not unfortunately, we really won't be covering any news from E3 in this episode of the newscast. All of the E3 news will be saved for Thursday's episode, where we will be recapping E3 with our resident gaming nerd / expert, Chad. So with that being said, now let's get right to it. So starting off, as always, we have a handful of DC news articles for you guys. Excuse me. The first piece of news we have is coming from, the newly formed Warner Brothers Discovery. And there's a little rumor floating around that they are interested in restoring the Snyderverse. So the return of the Snyderverse may not be as far-fetched of an idea as it once was. Reports are swirling that Zack Snyder and his sequels to Justice League will be back on the menu following the previously discussed Discover-Warner Media merger, which we covered in our last newscast. While nothing has been made official as of yet, Snyderverse lovers can't help but be excited by the increasing optimism regarding its return. I had heard speculation of this sort before the official merger of Warner Discovery, and kind of like we talked about last time, Nick, if Discovery is interested in making money, I don't see why they don't restore the Snyderverse in the least, just going straight to streaming services. But I don't know. I got my fingers crossed.
Oh, definitely.
Sticking with DC news, my favorite DC show on HBO Max, Titans, is filming the season 3 finale. So season 3 will be releasing, I think, this fall. The exact date escapes my mind, but as of the time of this article, they were beginning filming of season 3, and director Chad Lowe and director of photography Boris, I'm going to butcher this, Mojshovsky, have begun filming the season finale per the Boris Instagram caption, and fans are excited to see the DC heroes reunite. By far, this is the strongest DC show that's on HBO Max, and I am very excited to get back in. We talked about this show on quite a few of our episodes.
It keeps popping up for sure.
Yeah,
it's the favored one over the other DC series, correct?
Yeah, Doom Patrol is not so great. I really want to watch Swamp Thing, but that was only one season, and I'm avoiding it because I was super excited about it, and then immediately got super depressed because it was canceled before the first season even finished.
Womp.
Womp. I don't want to watch it and get my hopes up and then be sad after it's over.
Just treat it like the Snyder Cut. No hope.
True.
But enjoy it.
True. Well, hey, if we restore the Snyder Cut, let's restore Swamp Thing. Get those hashtags ready, guys. Up next, the Batman will reportedly set up Mr. Freeze for a sequel. So this, again, is another spicy rumor. But Mr. Freeze has been froze out of the big screen for nearly 25 years. But that could be changing soon. The Batman, its sequels, and director Matt Reeves appear to be bringing a renaissance in classic Batman antagonists, which could include Mr. Freeze. The latest rendition of Mr. Freeze is expected to take on a more serious tone than the Arnold Schwarzenegger character. Yeah, that was quite the take on old Mr. Freeze. Hey, he showed up in the Gotham series, though, right?
Correct. Yep.
I mean, technically not on the big screen, but
no, Gotham's good though, and yeah, I mean, yeah, he shows up in obviously like that show does very early form, but he comes to himself just like the Joker does, and a lot of the other characters in there.
Yeah, so, I mean, that'll be exciting. I'm really excited for the Batman. It keeps getting delayed though, which kind of makes me a little sad. It's
Makes me
pulling
more
the rug
excited
on
for
us.
it.
Hopefully, yeah. In time, I guess. But here's a deep cut DC flick, Blue Beetle, the movie heading to HBO Max. So HBO Max snags a DC exclusive in Blue Beetle, which will feature a Mexican-American teen, the first superhero movie with a Latino lead, by the way. The Blue Beetle's powers stem from his modifiable extraterrestrial armor. Blue
Dope.
Beetle will be streaming later this year. Wow. Did not expect it to be that soon. I mean, later this year, there's only 6 months left. And this is the first I've actually heard, really, of the Blue Beetle movie. But hey, that's a real deep cut superhero, so I'm excited to see what happens there. Moving on to gaming news, though. We do have a little bit of gaming news, though. And, like I said at the top of the episode, nothing really from E3. That is all saved for Thursday, so make sure you tune in to our regularly weekly episode. It should be a lot of fun. But here, you guys, if you're fans of the show, you know that I am a big fan of esports and a huge fan of the LCS, the League of Legends North American Pro League. And the LCS is returning to Riot Studios for the summer split, after COVID. So summer 2021 will bring a greater sense of normalcy to the LCS play. Riot plans on bringing back analysts, the broadcast team, and the teams themselves back into the studio following a year of purely remote play. While this is a big step, it will not be a complete return to pre-COVID times, as fans will not yet be returning to the studio. And the import rule, which was a highly debated hot topic in the offseason, will be remaining in place, kind of unrelated from the return to the studio. But the summer split actually started 2 weeks ago, and it's been really cool to see the teams back up on stage and see the broadcast team and the analysts back in the studio. It just feels normal and feels right, even though, there's no fans. That part kind of sucks, but it's been fun watching them, inch their way back to normal over there.
What another good point that just makes that whole pro gaming scene just more and more like traditional sports, right? You take away the fans and everything and you notice. It's noticeable.
Yeah, because as goofy as it sounds to have a live audience in front of pro gaming matches, it's great when a good play happens. It's exactly like a football game. The crowd goes wild and they're screaming, and it's just I don't know, it makes it really exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, even, and we've talked about this before and more recently, just about the blending of, traditional sports with gaming and how that gets real nerdy these days. Well, I don't know, when I go to a basketball game or a football game, I catch myself just staring at the giant 400-foot screen, which is all the same as a gaming match.
True. I think the Dallas Cowboys have the largest video screen in all of sports. It's gigantic. But yeah, and then on top of just as a viewer being able to hear the fans, I'm sure the play-by-play casters and shoutcasters really feed off the fan energy. So I think it'll be really nice for them once the fans are able to return. That's still on my bucket list, by the way. Going to a live LCS match.
Yeah.
Someday.
Showboys press pass.
There you go. Hey, you joke, but that could be a possibility.
I joke, but I am partially not kidding. Moving on, we have some more gaming news here, and we have what is a rumor of another potential remaster, but the rumor is the Dead Space community took note of a potential hint at an upcoming reboot of the series. The subtle social media interaction between Nick Baker, a known leaker within the gaming industry, and Jez Corden, a reporter at Windows Central, have fans wondering whether Dead Space will return in some form in the near future. However, this could be nothing more than a joke at the expense of the fan base eager for any news. I think I would really welcome that, as you attempted to get me to play those for the first time, and I think a remaster would really do it a lot of justice.
Yeah, it's not like, okay, so our friend BioSiv just streamed a playthrough of the first Dead Space a couple weeks ago, and it is aged obviously, but it's not like
it's not terrible,
poorly.
Yeah,
but
good.
It could definitely benefit from a remaster. And actually, we talked about that while he was streaming, like how cool a remaster of the series would be. And then even last week with Chad, this came up, I think.
Yeah.
So I would be all for it. I loved the first two. I didn't really get into the third as much, but yeah, if they remastered it, I would definitely play these again. And it would just be even more of an excuse for you to get in there and play the first one.
Stream it live so people can see me get completely terrified.
Yes, that's a great idea. Sticking in the gaming realm, Naughty Dog is working on a standalone multiplayer game. So video game studio Naughty Dog, well known for the Uncharted and The Last of Us series, they appear to be in search of talent to work on their first standalone multiplayer game. Some believe this could be in relation to The Last of Us 2 Factions, which was intended to be released in coordination with the second installment of The Last of Us. The multiplayer aspect was later scrapped, but this latest hiring spree may be hinting at the eventual launch of Factions. Now, never played Last of Us 2, but I was a huge fan of The Last of Us, the first Last of Us multiplayer. It was amazing. And if whatever they are planning on doing for The Last of Us 2 multiplayer, if that is in fact what they're doing, this could be a cool esports game, actually. Like, I remember thinking that playing the first Last of Us multiplayer, and with the rise of esports to where it is now, man, this could be huge and extremely fun to watch.
Yeah, and I mean that definitely falls into. I mean, there is just a string of RPGs, action RPGs, in the early part of the last decade. That sounds weird to say, but it's true. That like Assassin's Creed, The Last of Us these games had multiplayer components to them, and they were really fun and really different. And obviously, I think if we just like reset those into present day where esports is much more a thing, there could be a lot more traction behind these multiplayer modes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Speaking of multiplayer, a little coin term here, Blizzard 2.0 storms in to make the games Blizzard no longer wants to.
Oh, like a good WoW. Oh, wait. Sorry.
Yep. Startup companies made up of ex-Blizzard employees and execs are flush with cash from venture capitalists and hoping to make the games they say Blizzard is no longer willing to make. While these spin-off companies have yet to announce any titles, they and fans remain hopeful that their newfound freedom and financial backing that they'll be able to produce games they say the behemoth corporations like Blizzard are no longer interested in producing, choosing to play it safe to their opinion. This obviously would be pretty cool, pretty ambiguous, right? That's a lot of far-fetched hopes, I think, just on the sake of employees and execs peeling off into other companies. I even think some of those are like Riot employees as well. So I mean, it's not a bad thing. They obviously need to peel out of these much larger corporations, and I think that's what's always made gaming really good is the small startups that have a good idea and games that they want to play.
I mean, that's what made Blizzard so magical was
That
when
is.
they were that small startup company
That
pumping out games that they wanted to play.
Small indie company.
That's right.
Little Blizzard, then bought by Activision, and the rest is EA. Moving on, The Lord of the Rings Online goes on as an anime film, The War of the Rohirrim, in works at New Line, and The Lord of the Rings anime coming soon to theaters. The War of the Rohirrim will be an animated successor and companion to the Lord of the Rings series. The film is said to focus on the Helm of Hammerhand, a character from the appendix of the book and a battle that shapes the world in which Lord of the Rings takes place. This prequel is said to explore the world of Helm's Deep. Peter Jackson is not currently involved with the piece, but his future participation has not been ruled out. This is obviously awesome and exciting news because, one, animes are always fun, lets you do a lot of different things that live action doesn't necessarily let you. And, just the fact that we have a series and what seems to be kind of like a movie feature film too, would be quite exciting. Just more Lord of the Rings, right? We were so blessed with, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and then even The Hobbit, right? For the things that they tried to do and do better. They take a few extra watches or a few extra effort there to really like, but it's just definitely a world that needs fleshed out in every other facet as well.
Yeah. #blessed.
Blessed.
But sticking with kind of gaming news, but getting back in the film realm here, we have some casting news for the Last of Us series on HBO Max. HBO lands Meryl Dandridge for its The Last of Us television adaptation. Meryl voiced Marlene in the Last of Us video game, as well as in the sequel, in addition to roles in the Uncharted series, Dota 2, and Half-Life 2. The adaptation also features the star power of Craig Mazin, creator of Chernobyl. So it's pretty cool. They're, casting one of the voice actors to reprise her character. How neat.
It's always fun. A lot of that lately.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're planning these things.
Looking at you, Bo.
Done. A little bit more gaming news in related to theater, cinema, shows, and movies. Mortal Kombat has exceeded the expectations on HBO Max. The success of Mortal Kombat surprised Warner Media executives and may have earned itself a sequel. In an interview with IGN, Warner Media's VP stated, "It's been one of our top assets on the platform." While the VP was not able to confirm whether any future Mortal Kombat movies are in the works, it seems unlikely they'll be saying no to piles and piles of cash.
Which is something they like to do, because they're idiots.
I need to watch that movie, but this doesn't surprise me. It looked... just the trailer exceeded my expectations. So,
right.
I'm inclined to agree.
I wanted to catch this one for sure. I really wanted to see it in theaters, but I missed my window. So I might just have to settle for HBO Max. Yeah. So moving on, we have some MCU news for you guys. We're not just DC fanboys. We throw in the Marvel stuff too. We have Spider-Man No Way Home villain news and Spider-Man No Way Home multiverse news. So, of course, rumor alert. Throw that out there first. Yeah, we need the rumor siren
soundbite.
Yeah. Those in the know state that No Way Home may be in reference to Spider-Man's foes, not Spider-Man himself. Reports suspect that the film will feature villains like the Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus, Doc Ock, along with other dimension-jumping antagonists, the Sinister Six. Sinister Sticks, yeah. That was hard to say for some reason. Anyways,
Blah, blah, blah.
This is all yet to be confirmed, and we'll have to overcome explaining the previous deaths of some of these villains in the Spider-Man series, which may be explained by intertwining worlds first seen in Spider-Man Into the Multiverse, and allow for the meshing of the MCU and Sony Marvel films. I believe I meant to say Spody. I just combined Sony and Spider-Man. I meant to say Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, so interesting. A lot of rumors floating around about this Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, and Doctor Strange 2 introducing the multiverse, and which, by the way, they got beat. Loki actually introduced the multiverse on Wednesday. Spoiler alert if anyone has not seen the first episode of Loki. But yeah, so I'm excited to see what happens there. Lots of weird casting news with Spider-Man, and yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for those two movies for sure. And sticking with the Spider-Man news, Michael Keaton will be reprising his role as the Vulture in Spider-Man No Way Home. So yeah, Keaton returns as Vulture, which anything Michael Keaton in is good for me.
I enjoyed him as the Vulture. I enjoyed that movie, having finally seen it in the past 3 weeks.
Yes, the Spider-Mans are good, and he did a good job for sure as the Vulture. So Vulture was first introduced in Spider-Man Homecoming, and Vulture is thought to be one of the members of the Sinister Six, and the to be revealed group of villains. Very familiar with any fans of the Spider-Man comics. Tom Holland will likely be fighting, the Sinister Six in No Way Home. So yeah, there's that.
Nice. I did enjoy that, and I'm looking forward to finally seeing Far From Home as I cruise through Ant-Man and the Wasp into the Infinity War, and then finally the last movie, as I understand it, of the Infinity Stone saga, I guess. Mm-hmm. Very, very long saga.
Yes. If you liked Homecoming, you're going to love Far From Home.
I imagine I will.
Much better, in my opinion.
Oh, good. Very good. A little bit more in that realm of things. Thor Love and Thunder wraps production. Chris Hemsworth was personally confirmed that Thor Love and Thunder has wrapped up its production. The fourth movie in the series promises to be as exciting as ever, with Hemsworth stating, "The film is going to be batshit crazy, off the wall funny, and might also pull a heartstring or two." That's certainly a winning endorsement from Mr. Hemsworth there.
Yes.
Batshit crazy all the way to a heartstring or two. And I think by the sounds of that is, they're setting some expectations high here with Ragnarok being, I think, the crown jewel of that series. So yeah, we'll see where they can go with this. Very excited for that.
Is Thor going to have dad bod still?
It's going to be like ripped dad bod, if that even makes sense.
Yeah, and is his rock buddy going to show up? I can't remember his name. Korg. That's
Korg.
His name.
Korg. Yeah.
I love Korg.
What a great voice, too, for Korg.
Good old Taika Waititi.
Yeah, that dude's awesome.
Anyways.
Magician. Magic. Space magic. Moving on. Marvel announces a new Hulk series. In comic news, Hulk will debut this fall. Marvel's statement teases that Bruce Banner may have discovered a way to control the Hulk. The series will be headed up by Venom and Thor writer Danny Cates. That's exciting. A little bit more brand new Hulk material.
Little comic news too. Haven't had one of those articles on the show yet.
And the comic stuff's fun because that's basically establishing new, not canon, but new material. Yeah. Which, from my understanding, the MCU doesn't really do that with the movies or series so much. Is that correct? I'm not sure if you know either. That might be a Jordan question.
Yeah. I don't know. I think all adaptations of written material kind of embellish the stuff in their own ways,
Right.
sometimes adding new things to those worlds and whatnot. But yeah, it'll be interesting. A new comic series for the Hulk. Cool beans. Not a big Marvel comic guy, but hey, I enjoy comics. More comics, the better.
Just seems like way too much to get into at this point in my life.
Right. Speaking of, I did just read a really cool trade DC called Deceased, and it was beautifully terrifying and gorgeously disturbing. It was very, very interesting. I can't wait to finish reading the series. I recommend. Anyways, moving on with our last piece of Marvel news for you guys. Jon Bernthal's Punisher is expected to appear in the Moon Knight series on Disney Plus. So again, another rumor, but we've been reporting that a few of the Netflix Marvel characters could be soft rebooted in the MCU here in this current phase of the MCU, with Jon Bernthal's Frank Castle as one of those characters. So the much beloved Jon Bernthal may be back as the Punisher in the upcoming Moon Knight series. Most fans, myself included, believe this was the Punisher. We believed that the Punisher was cut short on Netflix and did the character Jon and the fans a huge disservice by ending it prematurely. Contracts, who needs them? They're dumb. Why did you do this to us? Anyways, there's even a slight chance we could see him go toe-to-toe with Spider-Man in the future, which is a big thing in the comics. So that would be gnarly. And I enjoyed Jon Bernthal as an actor. I loved his Punisher. That show on Netflix was amazing. And I don't know how that's going to transfer into the MCU, being Disney, properties, and the Netflix Punisher being pretty brutal. So how that works out is still up in the air, but I'm excited to see how they tackle that, because I want that character to exist still.
You and many others.
Yes.
And now for the Bad Batch Companion series. Our special segment we always like to touch on, and that is the Star Boys, where we will bring you all the Star Wars news.
Yes,
we
do need an official soundbite for Star Boys.
Yeah, we'll have to. We'll get that lined up.
Just lots of air horns.
Lots of air horns. Just all air horns that in the pattern of the Star Wars theme song, or like the Imperial March or something. We'll figure it out. We'll get the band on it. The Showboys band. Nice. Anyway, little bit of Star Boys news here. Ben Mendelsohn, I think I said that last name right. He had an extra H in there, perhaps, is reprising his role in Andor. He'll be bringing his character director Orson Krennic's character to Andor, set 5 years prior to the story in Rogue One. Andor will thus be the prequel to a prequel, more or less. Mendelsohn can also be found in the future Captain Marvel and Spider-Man films.
Yes, he plays a Skrull, I believe, in Captain Marvel. Yeah,
and Krennic is, he's definitely a favorite. I like Krennic a lot. That was a great character, alongside old Mikkelsen, right? Old Mads.
Yeah.
they had good opposing characters there in
Yes.
Rogue One. So
See, I need Mads. I forget what his character in Rogue One is, but I need his pop because I have Krennic.
oh yes, you for sure do.
I also have.
Galen Urso.
That's it. I have a ton of Rogue One pops actually. Krennic, the
collection.
blind guy. Forget his name. Is that insensitive to say?
I don't think so.
Baze Malbus. That one short, weird looking creature guy.
Oh yeah.
I have 2 Jyn Ursos. Andor. Donald Glover, Lando Calrissian.
Ooh.
And K2SO.
Too bad Lando wasn't in Rogue One, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, dang, that was Solo. My bad.
Rip. Okay, but that's fine.
Anyways,
no, those are good pops to collect. I mean, that's a solid movie. Arguably the best Star Wars film.
Ooh, I do have the Rogue One Saw Gerrera too.
Ooh, nice. That's a good Saw Gerrera. Very good Saw Gerrera.
Anyways, didn't mean to interrupt the newscast for updates on my Funko Pop collection.
Hey, everyone cares about your Funko Pop collection. I think I've seen this bit of news rumor floating about. Maybe it was a rumor and it is now more so news, but we'll still categorize it as rumor. But Star Wars racing movie being planned? ? In a potential nod to our childhood, Lucasfilms may be developing a pod racer film. While the project is still in the early stages, insiders are hearing that the goal is to create a Star Wars version of The Fast and the Furious, capitalizing on the love fans showed for Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, the video game. Released like 21 years ago or some nonsense. Maybe even longer, 22 years ago if that came out in 99. But yeah, that would be a pretty cool 2021 or modern video game, just because of the sounds you can do and just how you can capitalize on how fast those things go. I think that would be a pretty awesome game.
A game would be cool. I'm not sure if I'm digging the Fast and Furious and Star Wars universe movie idea.
Yeah, I still get drawn toward like a game remake of that, but the movie, we'll see.
As long as Vin Diesel is a racer of some sort.
I mean, that's all they have to do. They should do like a true crossover event where it's just the Fast and Furious actors in Star Wars.
He's a pod racer now.
Oh yeah, get The Rock in there. He's I don't know I feel like Rock wouldn't be a pod racer. He would be like a henchman trying to, who knows? Not going to go down that trail anymore. These insiders and their fancy clickbait rumors, Star Wars, Fast and the Furious nonsense. Gonna move on.
Might be the shortest Star Boys segment ever.
Yeah, not a lot. I think not a lot, nothing too crazy. Got to keep it short and sweet sometimes. Can't completely just go head over heels for DC and Star Wars around here. Got to make room for the other things in life.
True.
But this is slightly related just in the fact that it is Donnie Yen, but he has joined the cast of John Wick 4. The 4th installment of John Wick is going to add Donnie to play John's old friend. Yen is a much adored veteran actor who has also appeared in Ip Man and Rogue One, a Star Wars story. John Wick 4 will premiere on 5/27/2022.
Who was
under a year away? The blind guy.
Oh, I think it was Shrute. Does that sound right?
Yeah, Shrute.
Anyways, I love that character.
Yeah, great character. He basically, that allowed them to popularize the existing phrase of "I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me."
Yeah.
So that always been around, but they finally built that into a character and obviously a movie in a very cool way. And now that is very synonymous with "May the Force be with you" these days. So,
man, I kind of want to watch that movie now after we're done here for like the fourth time.
Shoot, yeah. Fourth time. Dang, dude.
Well, maybe third. I don't know. I love that movie. Anyways, speaking of movies and movies that I've already seen, Code 8, by the way, which I forgot to talk about on our What's Watching a couple weeks ago, which made me really sad because I literally watched it like the night before we recorded.
I did the same thing with something else I completely forgot to mention on that episode.
Nice. But yeah, Code 8 sequel is happening. So for those of you who don't know, Robbie and Stephen Amell like crowdfunded a movie called Code 8 a while ago, and it recently landed on Netflix. And it's a very interesting story about discrimination against people with superpowers. It's a really interesting take. It's not like the greatest movie, but it's not bad. It's the special effects are good. The premise is good. I have a soft spot for the Amels just because I enjoyed their stuff in like the Arrowverse back in the day. But yeah, Code 8 Part 2 is a go, with production beginning sometime prior to 2022. So, within the next 6 months, run out of time here. The crowdfunded movie from 2019 became a massive success despite its relatively small budget, rising to the #1 most watched movie on Netflix in the spring of 2020.
Wow.
The sequel is set to follow a teenage girl as she works to get justice for her brother's death. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out on Netflix. The first one, obviously, because the second one is not made yet. But yeah, check it out. It's a decent movie. It's a good watch. Here is some exciting news. One of my favorite shows had its premiere date announced, along with a few other shows on FX. So mark your calendars. September 2nd, which is already marked because it's my wedding anniversary. So it's going to be doubly awesome. What We Do in the Shadows is set to return on FX. The third season is said to follow ever powerful vampires and werewolf kickball. Also, notably, American Horror Story and Archer will both return on August 25th. And one of our favorite shows ever on FX. You know it. You love it. Dave, I believe, starts tonight. Right? No,
that was
Wednesday. Wednesday. So if you're listening to this audio version, it will be starting tonight. Everyone else, it will start in 2 days, which makes me so excited.
Good save.
Yeah. What We Do in the Shadows. Great show. Super funny. If you like The Office and you like gothic horror stuff such as vampires and werewolves, you have to watch this show. It is genius and one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. Our good friend Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement, the creative minds behind this and the movie of the same name that debuted, much before the show started. Great stuff. Highly recommend. Have you seen that show or the movie, Nick?
No, but I think I want to watch the show.
Dude, the show is so funny. Okay, so we have 2 more articles. Last one for me here for you guys. We have news on a third Quiet Place movie. Without any hesitation, Paramount has already announced the third installment of A Quiet Place, set to air. Wow, they already have an airing. Wow, that's bold. Set to air on March 31st of 2023. The news is unsurprising following the success of A Quiet Place and its recently released sequel, which grossed $58 million over Memorial Day weekend. The third flick is set to be more of a spin-off than a true successor, with director Jeff Nichols taking over for Krasinski. That kind of makes me a little sad because we actually just saw part 2 on Friday, and it was just as good as the first one. I loved it, and I think John Krasinski knocked it out of the park with these 2 movies. So it'll be kind of sad that, he's kind of handing it over to somebody else, but I trust Jim
I think it's a smart move. He should hang his hat up here while he's got 2 home runs, right?
Have you seen either of these?
The first one.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Cool. I enjoyed it.
I did. Yeah. No,
Second one was just as good.
Solid breakout new IP.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, third one already for 2023, and they even have a release date. That's insane.
That's aggressive. Very aggressive.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive.
These studios are getting so confident coming out of the pandemic with their plans. They're like, oh yeah, let's just line it up.
Yeah.
People like what they like. All right, last one for the evening, and we do have a rumor here, which mentions something we just talked about. More crossover stuff. This must be a hot franchise for people wanting to cross over into.
I can see it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I linked the article in our Discord. It's the greatest movie franchise ever, right? On all accounts. Can't argue with it. Read the article. Join our Discord today. Completely a rumor, but not to be outdone by Star Wars. Jurassic World may also want in on the Fast and Furious action. Insiders claim Universal is looking to cross over Fast and Furious and Jurassic World. As improbable as it sounds, Justin Lin refused to deny the possibility. While the door remains open, this pairing seems highly unlikely. I mean,
they have cars in the Jurassic Park universe.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say that the events of Jurassic Park don't take place in the same world timeline. So, there happened to be like a dinosaur park outbreak thing, and they're in the middle of a heist, and there's a lot of fast cars and running dinosaurs.
Hey, we just literally had a zombie heist movie, so why not a dinosaur heist movie?
Yeah, unless we're gonna go with like Ark Survival, where they're driving.
Vin Diesel just saddles up a T-Rex.
Yeah, exactly. You got The Rock coming in on like a Stegosaurus or something. Yeah. I don't know. Oh man,
I like it.
You got Jason Statham on a Brachiosaurus. Ludacris on a pterodactyl. Oh
yeah, I like that one. That's a Fast and Furious I would go see.
Oh my goodness, that would be a riot. Oh my, I don't know. These rumors, people are getting bored. These insiders, I don't know who they're talking to, but they're talking to some weird people.
Yeah. We like to include some of the goofy things we find on here too.
Hey, if it pans out, you heard it here first, maybe.
Jordan Hoffey linking the old Swamp Thing with a crying face. I feel you, brother.
Straight from the book.
Yep.
Anyway, once again, thank you for joining us. We hope you found this both entertaining and informative. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe everywhere you consume our content. Find all the places we publish content on our link tree,
which is linktr.ee/showboyspodcast. Be sure to join our Discord server and become a member of the Showboys community to hang out with the Showboys staff and other listeners, as well as get some cool perks, such as being able to see all the articles we had to choose from for this episode of the Newscast, but weren't able to squeeze in the episode, which I think we maybe covered half of the articles compiled. So there's a lot to look through on that sheet. All article links covered in this episode will be available in Discord.
And if you have anything you would like us to cover in more detail, maybe an entirely different episode, breakout episode, where it's just all Star Wars news, probably not going to happen. But,
No, but we will have one on all these Fast and Furious crossover ideas.
Yes, that sounds like a topic in itself. How many times can we cross over the Fast and Furious? And how many times can we prove it is the best movie franchise of all time? This is a new avenue. This is a new take that I'm going to start researching and running with, and I plan on being well versed in it. And hopefully, I get to debate it with B Hero someday. I'll suggest that idea. But yeah, let us know at showboyspodcast@gmail.com, or obviously, as Mike said, join us in our Discord where we it's the best place to interact with us. And, you can just openly at us and suggest whatever you want. And we might take that idea and run with it and completely build a whole entire episode off of it with just your comments. Exactly. So we're just here to read what you think. Yeah, just read what you guys say. We're here to spread the knowledge.
That's right. Or just talk nonsense, which is
blah,
pretty much what we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us. We hope to see you Thursday, where we will be breaking down E3 2021 with our good friend Chad.
Plug it.
So, until then, have a wonderful evening. Good day.